This is the 2025 GMC Acadia Elevation. Is this the best bang for the buck trim level? Hey everybody, it's Tom from Vehicle Visionary. I hope you're having a great day. Today we're at Morgan Buick GMC in Shreveport, Louisiana to go over the particulars on this 2025 version of the GMC Acadia. If you want to know more about this particular model, check out the link down in the description of the video. The exterior color on this model is called Ebony Twilight Metallic, and it has a cloth after dark interior. Sounds like the name of a nightclub, doesn't it? At least that's what it sounds like to me. But there's a quick look at what cloth after dark looks like. As we work our way around to the front end, this is going to be the front wheel drive model, but all wheel drive is available. You're going to find full LED lighting, LED headlights, LED daytime running lights, even LED turn signals, and no changes for 2025 because obviously we saw a full redesign for the 2024 model year. And if you're a fan of a lot of black on your vehicle, this is definitely going to cover it for you. You're going to have the gloss black 22-inch wheels. You'll also see the Acadia name here. Basically, for the majority of it, it is blacked out. Now, you will find the passive entry buttons right here on the door handles in chrome, but not a big deal. They're very easy to find that way. I like the fact that they're on the front and the rear doors. It just makes it more convenient because you can come up when you have the remote on your person and lock and unlock all four doors from either door, whether it's front or rear, driver or passenger side. Here is the remote right here for 2025. No changes again there, but you can see what's here for those of you that maybe haven't looked at the Acadia for the last couple of years. So we're gonna have lock, unlock, remote start right there, and you can open and close your power tailgate. Then there's your panic button if you need that. There's only one thing missing from the side view mirrors. They do have the turn signal indicators built in. They're going to be heated and power adjustable. You're also going to have blind spot monitoring built in, as you can see right there. The only thing missing is that they're not power folding, but I don't think that's too big of a deal as far as this particular model goes. There are your roof rails up top. You can get the crossbars and increase your cargo capacity if you need to do that. We'll find the body colored shark fin antenna and our rear roof spoiler. When you need it, there is the rear window wiper and LED tail lights. Finish things off here. We're going to see a similar look as far as the design goes, at least to a degree, as far as this looking somewhat the same as what we have with the front headlights, the headlights, the front lights, daytime running lights, all of that. And you can see from this angle that we have the active exhaust outlets back here. They're not faux exhaust outlets with the quad tip exhaust. Speaking of that, what is being exhausted? Let's open the hood and talk about that. And under the hood is the singular engine offering for the Acadia. It's a 2.5 liter turbocharged four-cylinder, making 328 horsepower and 326 pounds-feet of torque, mated to an 8-speed automatic transmission. Let's take a look at what we have as far as our MPGs go. We're looking at 20 city, 27 highway, 23 combined, and 4.3 gallons of gas per every 100 miles driven. When you fill up, you have a 19.4 gallon gas tank. Here's some information you don't normally hear about in these car review videos. How far can you drive on a single tank of gas? In the city, you're looking at 412 miles. On the highway, you're looking at 564. It gives you a rough estimate. Obviously, there's going to be a lot of variables that go into whether or not you're able to achieve those exact numbers. You might do a little better, you never know, but those are the numbers. You can tow up to 5,000 pounds with the Acadia. And as you'll notice, you hear all those beeps? Let's see if we can get that to work for us. There we go. We're going to stand here for just a second. And it's actually a good thing that the tailgate did not open that first time because there's a very important point to what just happened right there. So all I did was stand there and let the motion sensor pick me up, and you let it beep until it starts to open, then you can step back. However, if you are walking past the rear of your Acadia and those beeps go off, keep walking if you don't want the tailgate to open. Kind of a foolproof way of sorts, if you want to put it that way, to make things a lot easier to deal with. We're going to have plenty of storage space underneath the floor, and underneath the area right here is going to be the spare tire. You can see the diagram here that tells you where that's located and how to gain access to it. You'll just remove these right here. There's 4, and no big deal. You just pull that piece out, this whole bin out basically, and you can gain access to your spare tire. Cargo capacity ranges between 23 cubic feet up to 97.5 cubic feet. To lower the rear seats, you pull on that release right there. Let's see if I can do this one-handed. A little bit hard to do that way, but we'll put that down. And we'll lower down the other side because I know a lot of you like to see everything maximized. See if we can do this one. It's a little hard to do this one-handed, but there we go. Now, the one thing I do wish GMC had done that is not here. You'll notice the straps right here that you pull on to not only lower the seats, but to pull them back up. Let's see if I can get that up there. Like that. You'll notice that they just kind of flop around. If you've cross-shopped, say, the Honda Pilot, there's actually Velcro here where you can Velcro the strap down so that when you lower the seat down, you can Velcro the strap in place where it's easier to get to, just like this. But it could go all the way up there, and unless you have really long arms, I have to reach pretty far to do that. I can, but it might be a little hard to reach that strap. So GMC, if you're watching this video, that might be a good idea to add something like that. I don't think that would be too big of a deal. Let's take a look at what your second and third row passengers will find. Plenty of room with the armrest right here. I like that, it's comfortable. We also have the upper armrest up here, if you want to call it that, the windowsill area, and plenty of room with our door bins. And speaking of room, you'll notice that I have both of these seats set at two different positions. I have the seat here on the passenger side all the way back, and the seat on the driver's side is all the way forward. That way you know that you can increase leg space for third row passengers, or they can do that themselves with the help of the third or second row passengers. And all I did to get that seat up and out of the way is pull on this release, and the seat does get up and out of the way quite easily. Now, I will admit it's a little tight back here, but I've been in worse vehicles, or vehicles that had worse leg space than this. It's not horrible, but it can be improved upon. Cup holder right here with a little bit of space, and we have a USB port right there. The perfectly mounted, in my opinion, air conditioning vents in the roof area up there. And let's hop over here onto the driver's side, and I'll show you how things look as far as leg space goes when it's maximized. That's a lot better. Plus, I can stretch my leg out into the pass-through if I want to. And speaking of that pass-through, it can be used to gain access to and from the third row for those who want to do that, or obviously passengers can just push up on that lever and move the seat up and out of the way. That's actually very easy to do. Now, for those who are looking to stretch their legs out the most, and obviously this is dependent upon where the front row seats are set, well, the middle row seats are where you need to be. Another set of cup holders right here on the rear of the center console. We'll also find the controls for the air conditioning back here, the third zone of climate control, and we'll find a couple of USB ports and a power outlet. If you're not a fan of having a sunroof, well, the good news is you don't have to have one. The only disadvantage to there not being a sunroof here is during the test drive, you're going to have to ride in the windshield area up there. For those who have been patient and not skipped around all through the video trying to find the sticker price, don't tell anyone in the comments section when they ask what it is. It's $47,935. Now, one thing that does surprise me here is the fact that at this price point, you have a manually adjustable passenger seat. It is heated, but I think it should not only be power adjustable, but at that price point, it should be heated and ventilated. Plenty of space with the door bin and the armrest, a little bit more than what we saw with the rear seats. And we're also going to have plenty of room within the glove box area if we need to take advantage of that. And over here on the driver's side door, we're going to find all the controls for the windows and the mirrors, all that good stuff, as well as our lock and unlock. If you're looking for the button to turn the auto stop start off or on, depends on your personal preference, there it is. There's your power parking brake and our drive mode selector. Let's take a look at our drive modes on our 15-inch diagonal touchscreen. Here we go. We're going to have tow haul mode, normal, which is going to be your default mode. We'll also have sport, snow and ice, quite a bit going on there. There's that tow haul mode again. And like I say, when you turn the ignition off, it defaults to normal. Wish it would stay in whatever mode you put it in when you turn the ignition off. Not very many vehicles out there doing that. And here is our steering wheel Very nice, very easy to use, comfortable. It's heated. There's the button to turn on the heated steering wheel function if you want to use that. You also have your cruise control settings over here. And you'll notice that we have navigation on the driver's display. Via the button right here, you can change what is on the driver's display. Let me run through the options here as far as what we have. Not a lot to go through, but there are a few here depending on what you want to or need to see. So a very convenient setup. Shifter paddles to work your way back and forth through the 8-speed automatic transmission. And here's the control for our front and rear window wipers, and the control also for your turn signal indicators. For those of you that understand what those are and how they work, and you keep your turn signal fluid full, there's the button for your windshield washer fluid. That's right next to the turn signal washer fluid or turn signal fluid reservoir, if you're wondering where that is. Here's our shifter. Easy to deal with. You just put your foot on the brake, pull that back, and you can go into drive or reverse or neutral, whatever the situation is. And returning back to the 15-inch touchscreen, you can wirelessly pair your phone. You have Apple CarPlay and Android Auto, as you can see right there. Google Assistant, so you can say, hey, I'm not going to do it, I promise, not going to set off devices in your house, but that name right there, you can see what all is here. There's a lot to talk about, but I'm just going to hit some highlights. Here is the camera, and you do have multiple views. Now keep in mind, some of you might have been surprised at the price I gave you earlier. Well, you do get quite a few features for the price. So that's one of the good things about it. And you'll notice there are 2 different views on several of these options as far as what we can look at. Just makes things a lot easier. I like that. It's clear, it works well, easy to see. You even have that overhead 360-degree view. Now, you do have your built-in maps here for this screen as well. We'll go in here into settings. The main thing I want to cover here is vehicle. There's a lot to talk about. Well, we're just going to cover vehicle here. Audio settings, teen driver, you've got your rear seat reminder, buckle to drive. If you want to turn that off because you're just changing parking spaces in a parking lot, well, it is nice to not have to buckle to drive to do that. But when you're out on the road, do use your seat belt. But one thing I know a lot of people like to know about, collision detection systems. Let's see what our safety features, the driving aids are. Automatic emergency braking, front pedestrian braking, intersection collision braking, adaptive cruise go notifier, side bicyclist alert, lane change alert, park assist with braking. We have park assist tow bar, rear cross traffic braking, and rear pedestrian alert. And that little beep you just heard right there is because that Toyota Camry just drove by and it sensed that and let me know there was something in my blind spot. Nice to have that, easy to deal with. Now, one thing you might have wondered about, you might have noticed what isn't over here. Tell me what your thoughts are on this. You turn your headlights on and off right here. Now, you can set them to auto, you can set them to off, or you can just, whoops, and see, that's one of the problems with it. It doesn't stay on long enough, in my opinion, but you can turn that on right there. So you have a couple of different options. We'll leave that on auto as far as that goes. And there are other features here that we can go through, different things. There's a couple of different ways to get to your cameras. There's dome light, your power window lockout if you want to use that, traction control. You can see what all is here. There's even more settings beyond that, just a few more. But you can see what we have in case you're curious. And right here with doors, if you want to turn on the power tailgate, max open, custom, or on and off. Now, a lot of the time I'll show the control that's up here on some of the other GMC SUVs, but this is where you find that. And one important trick I want to show you within the infotainment screen, if your power tailgate is not opening, when I showed you how that worked earlier in the video, here's what you do. We're coming to settings first, vehicle, comfort and convenience, hands-free exterior storage. You'll notice that it can be set to off or open only. Make sure it's set to open only. Here is everything for our air conditioning down here. And the good thing is that you have physical controls. You can control that via the screen if you want to. I prefer to do all of that from the controls right here. That's very easy to deal with. There are a couple of things you can do, such as sync and direction of airflow, all that good stuff right there. But it's pretty easy to deal with. You can also control the rear air conditioning if you need to. There is a wireless charging pad here, cup holders, and within the center console, quite a bit of space. We'll remove that tray out of the way that obviously you can leave in if you want to, or take out depending on your situation. That doubles as an armrest. Let me make sure that's all the way down in there. That doubles as an armrest, pretty comfortable. And we're going to have our sunglass holder right here. And there's everything else that we have as far as our upper console goes. Okay, let's get out on the road for a quick test drive. A couple of things I didn't mention earlier in the video. Number one, I don't think I talked about the fact that you have a power adjustable driver's seat. I know I mentioned you don't have a power adjustable passenger seat. The driver's seat is power. It also has lumbar support. And you also have a tilt and telescopically adjustable steering wheel. And while that's manually adjustable, there's a release under the steering column that you just drop, and then you can adjust that, and everything is easy to deal with. Something else that's interesting here that I noticed, and I don't know if this is a good or a bad thing, if you need to change to, say, navigation or whatever you need to do with the, ooh, that was smart. I can't stand it when people do that, but thankfully that didn't come into my lane. But if you need to change to navigation on your driver's display, you can't do that when the vehicle is in gear or when you're moving. So you have to be in park to change that. At least that's what I've noticed right here. Kind of an interesting thing, but one of those little things that I like to try and come up with that maybe not everybody has talked about in these videos. The ride quality here is definitely good. It's very comfortable, plenty of room for the driver up here in the front seat and the passenger, and you have a nice tight turning radius. While this is considered a mid-size SUV, it definitely is nice and maneuverable, easy to get around. And I know a lot of people are saying, oh, I wish GMC had left the 6-cylinder under the hood. I understand that. It would be nice to see them bring that back. I don't know if that will happen or not, but it sure would be nice. But I will tell you this, the 4-cylinder, this 2.5-liter 4-cylinder, doesn't seem to have any trouble getting the Acadia down the road, getting up to speed, especially when you need to merge into fast-moving traffic and you need to get a little bit higher than the speed limit to do that. Hint, hint, to some drivers out there who tend to be way under the speed limit when trying to do so. If you see me behind you, I'm probably not going to have a very friendly look on my face. Same thing that happens when I get troll comments on my videos, but we'll not talk about that. But overall, I have to say, it's a very enjoyable vehicle to drive, aside from the sarcasm and the jokes. The seats seem to be comfortable here. I know some people might say, I'd rather have leather seats. Well, obviously you can do that. I like the adjustability that's built into the driver's seat, which makes it very easy for somebody who is over 6 feet tall or somebody who is about 5 feet tall to be able to adjust things, whether it's the seat position or the steering wheel, to adjust everything to your liking, to where you're comfortable, where it's easy to see. There's a lot of room here for adjustability. And one thing that I want to finish the test drive on, number one, let me do two things here. The gas pedal and the brake pedal, very easy to manage, no big deal where that is concerned. But also, the technology here is very easy to learn and to use. So for those of you that maybe haven't had this type of technology before and you're looking at that 15-inch touchscreen and saying, wow, I'm a little intimidated by that, Tom, don't let it bother you. Number one, there are plenty of tutorials here on YouTube to help you out with that. And you're also looking at the fact that you can really use what I call the hunt and peck method to figure it out. It's nothing complicated. It's not a big deal. Overall, I have to say the Acadia is a very enjoyable vehicle to drive. Tell me what you think about the 2025 GMC Acadia Elevation. Is it the best bang for the buck trim level? I'm always curious to receive your feedback. I want to say a special thanks to my friends at Mike Morgan Buick GMC for loaning me this Acadia for the day so I can tell you all about it. And a special thanks to all of you for being kind enough to give me the opportunity to give you a vision for your next vehicle. If you enjoyed this video, please be sure to hit the like button. That's very helpful to me. Make sure to subscribe if you haven't done so you don't miss any future videos on the Vehicle Visionary YouTube channel. And make sure to share this video on your timelines on social media so other people can see it. If you'd like to learn about additional vehicles you may wish to consider purchasing, check out the video that's on the screen right now, and I'll see you there.